And welcome to Derwent Park here in Workington, up in Cumbria. A decent crowd inside this stadium tonight for this vital match in the Lincoln Financial Group World Cup. Here's the Samoa team. Milford's the fullback, the three-quarters. Mealy, Swan, Galafeo and Leuma. Farfili and Swan are the halfbacks, and then the forwards Pulatua, Beetham, Soso, Solomona, Leafa, and poaching the captain Tutupu, Luluai and Geros are the substitutes with Fala. And for the Maori, Tupi at fullback, Mills, Watuira, Nelson and Matthews are three-quarters. The halves are Goodwin and Jeremy Smith. The forwards Rauhihi, Cook, Rehana, Luluai, Smith and Nikau the captain. And the substitutes Koalov, Moana, Kidwell and Terry Hermanson. So 4 strong substitutes for the Maori side, but they've made a lot of changes from the 17-16 victory over Scotland up in Glasgow. And we're about to have the haka in just a moment. Led by Tuera Nikau, it's the Maori first. Almost 2 contests going on tonight. There'll be the Rugby League, which we're eagerly anticipating, and they're the haka from both the Maori and the Samoans. And I have to say, while the Samoans are going through their haka, the Maori restarted theirs. So quite a confrontation, and we expect quite a confrontation on the pitch. This match sure to need firm policing from referee Bill Harrigan, who's out there probably just the man for the occasion. It will be the Samoans to kick off from right to left. Bill Harrigan just walking towards the commentary position, and he's a very, very experienced referee. And the Samoans about to kick off. They've made just a couple of changes to their starting 13. The Maori, 9 changes, as I say, to that lineup from the 17-16 victory over Scotland. Here come the Maori, and Willie poaching of Wakefield Trinity to get us underway. It's a good deep kick, and expect some tough defensive work in this first half. Rehana, the man to take the ball up first. And I think we can expect to see 1 or 2 penalties in this match. I wouldn't be surprised to see quite a high penalty count, possibly into double figures by the end. The infringement at the play the ball, and that was quickly pounced on. The infringement against Rehana, and the Maori in possession just short of halfway.
Here we are for 1. Let him go, let go, quick, hands off.
Good gang tackle there. David Solomona into the fray early on. Here's Rauhihi, the Newcastle Knight. He's had an excellent season down under, almost made the New Zealand squad. Tyron Smith makes it into the Samoan 40. The Maori looking good. They're playing out a decent set of 6 here as Kyle Luluai in possession, almost shrugged off the tackle of Farfili, who recovered, assisted by Solomona. He's the man with the ponytail and the scrum cap on. The Maori work the ball out to the left. Here's Nikau. That's a good ball out to the man who scored 2 tries, Tupi, and a good break from Boise Nelson. And they're attacking the Samoan line early on, and the take to the air for the final tackle. And that ball, it's all very scruffy, and I think if that's come off a Samoan player, that might be the first try to Steve Matthews. And the referee, Bill Harrigan, decides there's no need to go to the video referee. Steve Matthews is the scorer, and first blood very, very early on to the New Zealand Maori. A good set of 6 after that initial penalty, and the 25-year-old from Glenora has scored. He's a tall player. We watch as they take to the air on that last tackle. I think it was Mealy making the mistake, the Auckland winger with the number 2 shirt on. That was a good high kick, crossfield kick. And there's one thing this winger has got, Matthews, is a bit of height. And you can see the ball drops, it hit him on the knee. There's no question of that being a knock-on, and he just pounced. So an early lead then for the Maori, who certainly started this match as favourites. And Luke Goodwin, who's had 8 clubs in 9 years, some of them over on this side of the world, including the London Broncos and the Oldham Bears. Now playing for Newtown in the Sydney competition, and that looks a reasonably accurate kick. In fact, he's just pulled it across the face of the post, so the Maori retain that 4-0 lead, but they'll be pleased with that start. And Matthews, as I say, big gangly winger, just pouncing on that mistake in the Samoan defence. So poaching kicked off just a few moments ago. He's going to have to do likewise. He's just waiting for a kicking tee. We've got a good and passionate crowd inside Derwent Park tonight. The shrill blast of the whistle from Bill Harrigan, and well, you probably heard him warn the Samoan team, stay behind the kick, he said.
Other side, that one there.
Well, Harrigan stayed in line, and he's right. At least one of them, if not more. So Luke Goodwin to kick to touch, and this will be excellent field position for the Maori to launch another assault. Good kick from Goodwin. He made plenty of yards there. They've taken the first hit up, but the Samoans have emerged with the ball there. So a mistake from the Maori. And Samoa, who were beaten in that first game over in Ireland, they were starved of the football, particularly in the first half, and that cost them dear. That's a good run forward from the hooker Monty Beetham, a try scorer on Saturday. Looks outside him and finds Solomona to the left, and this is a good bit of handling from the Samoans down this near side. The winger Mealy waiting for the ball. In the end, it never came from Farfili. They're going from left to right now. Solomona again, the Sydney City man. He won he was in a grand final, he didn't win it. Sydney City losing to the Brisbane Broncos, but a player of great promise. He's on his way to Parramatta next year. That's a good little chip kick through from Willie Swan, but equally well picked up over on the far side by Jared Mills. And there's a knock-on, and that could be very costly indeed. Clinton Tupy, who had an excellent game against the Scots on Sunday, scored 2 of the Maori tries. And you can see there, he was looking at the player and not the ball.
Right, Ben. Just go to the side, get him a water on it.
Tupy played 4 matches for the Auckland Warriors last season. Towards the end of the season, he's only 20 years old. A big future predicted. There's the average pack weight, so you can see that the Maori have a 5 kilogram a man advantage, which could prove quite important. Not necessarily in the scrums, which aren't really a contest anymore in Rugby League, but maybe a little later on in the game, the hard running of those forwards. And of course they've got Moana and Hermanson, 2 big men on the bench of the Maori. We're seeing an injured player just receiving a little bit of treatment. It's Kyle Luluai.
Seconds around, locks it down.
He'll pack down in the second row. It's Samoan feed.
Go on, seconds down, locks down. In.
Bill Harrigan wants the scrum to be taken again.
Back, straighten yourself up.
He's happy now. Willie Swan takes it, finds Farfili, and Farfili almost breaks through. He's just inside the 20. This is the best field position that the Samoans have had so far. It's Beetham at hooker, just turning a little ball up into the air for Susu to run onto. Here's Swan again. And once more as they try the run around. He's got Poaching behind him, but Swan going sideways, and they've lost a metre or two there at the Samoans, who are trailing to that early try. Here's Poaching, the Samoan captain, but he lost the ball. They've regained it. Solomona is a dangerous player. That was a scruffy pass, though, and it's picked up by the Maori, and once more they can break, and that really was not a well-worked move from Samoa, who've lost a number of players since the last World Cup in 1995. In fact, only 3 of the Samoans from 95 survived to their squad for the year 2000. Poaching's one of them, Willie Swan's another, and Tony Tatupu, who's a substitute. And here's another penalty against the Samoans. The infringement against Tahi Reihana, who briefly played with the Bradford Bulls just for a season. And the kick towards this near side touchline, and again good field position for the Maori with that slender lead so far in the early stages of this match. Here's Rauhihi, just short of the 30-metre mark. The ball from Jamie Cook slips the reverse pass out to Tupi, and Tupi is brought to ground, and the applause from beneath me from the Workington and other Cumbrian supporters for that tackling. They appreciate keen as mustard tackles up here in this rugged part of the country, and Solomona makes a crunching hit there, and the Maori have actually gone back in this set of 6 so far. Here's Jeremy Smith, chip kick forward. It's one for Milford to look at and then to chase and then to try to clear out of his in-goal area, which he does, and Smith really the only man who'd followed that up, and he's a bit of a lightweight in terms of weight because he's just the scrum half. He really needed a bit of a chase from some of the forwards there. It wasn't forthcoming, and Samoa are back in possession. Here's Poaching, very much to the fore in the early stages. 4 tackles have gone in this set of 6. Good run from Liafa, and he's won the penalty. That ball has been reefed out, according to Bill Harrigan, he was obviously keen to stamp his authority on this game early on, and he was certainly absolutely correct on that occasion. 3 against 1. Can't do that in rugby league. 1-on-1's okay, 3-on-1 isn't. So a penalty to the Samoans. The tap from Anthony Swan, and that's a tremendous run, tremendous drive through the middle, well over the halfway. Pulatua, the Penrith Panther. It's Penrith, Australia, not Penrith, Cumbria, and I think that's going to be another penalty. Again, that ball reefed out of Susu's hand. And Bill Harrigan is certainly having plenty of work to do. We will watch this again. Absolutely, no doubt there was an arm in there. And the kick from Willie Swan, who's been playing in the Northern Ford Premiership here in England. Played for Hunslet last season. Now, the new season gets underway next month, early in December, and he's transferred to Lee Centurions. The ball's 20 metres out, and it's the Samoans who trail by 4 points to 0, but they're on the attack now, and Pulatua is brought to ground. 15 out. There's a substitute on, and that's a good ball. Milford joining the line at pace, and he looked impressive in Belfast on Saturday afternoon, and he's looking quite impressive tonight as well. Here's Mealy going for the line, and he was brought down just short. At acting half-back, it's Gulaveo. It was a bit scrappy, it went through his legs. He didn't touch it. It's the last tackle. Here's Solomona, possibly not the man you want to see kicking at this stage, and sure enough, the ball straight into the arms of a Maori player, and the Samoans really getting the wires crossed on that occasion. Here's Tupi, the fullback, to run it out of defence. We expected a bruising match, and I think so far it's lived up to expectations. The Maori driving the hard yards, the hard metres down the middle. That time it was Tyron Smith. And here's Nikau. That was a good sharp pass. It was well held, and here's a chance for Wetuira, and Wetuira passes the ball out to this near side to Steve Matthews, who, despite wearing number 5, is playing on the right wing tonight. He was the scorer of the first try. Look at that. That was a good pass, but it was just too far ahead. There's Nikau. Bullet pass, well taken. And then we see Wetuira, and he should have done a little better than that. And if Matthews could have clung on to that ball, I think we might have seen the second Maori try of the evening.
No ball, hang on, fellas, no ball, no ball.
Well, we won't get far without a rugby ball. Here is one for Willie Swan.
Ball in.
Well, they weren't all in, despite Bill Harrigan's call. He's allowed play to continue. Anthony Swan, the Canberra Raider, in possession, and that was a good run from Swan. There are 2 Swans in the Samoan side. Willie is playing at half-back and Anthony Swan playing in the centre. Another good run forward, and this time the Samoans seem to be slightly getting their act together here. Here is Willie Swan, the older and smaller of the 2 Swans in the side. Good run from Monty Beetham, another impressive customer in Belfast on Saturday. A scruffy play the ball, it was okay, and they did well to cling on there. 4 tackles gone. Here's Swan once more. It's Fafili who's brought to ground. They're 20 metres out. It's the last, though. Will they take to the air? Well, it's a little grubber kick through this time, and Tupi does very, very well. Just watch the ball that time. No question of him taking his eye off the football, and now the Maori once more can run that ball out of defence, and 1 or 2 oohs for a crunching tackle. And the Maori clearing their lines from inside the 20. Good tackle coming in from Jerry Susu. Quite a few Auckland players in both these sides, so it'll be mate against mate out there tonight. But no love lost over the 80 minutes, I'm sure. Here's Nikau. Looks outside him. That's a good ball. Finds Kyle Luluai. Luluai back to Nikau. Tahi Reihana decides not to continue the movement in the back line and just crunches forward. It's the kick on the last, and well, we've had a lot of rain up here in Cumbria, and that ball has held up well in the in-goal area, so it turned into a good kick. I thought it was going to run dead. Lower Milford, the West Tigers fullback, has run it out, and here's Mealy, who's done very, very well out of a couple of tackles there. They were clinging on desperately. Solomona making plenty of metres too. So there are just the signs that certainly in their own half the Samoans are starting to get a little go forward. They're still lacking 1 or 2 ideas when they get into the final quarter of the pitch. It's the last tackle there, just outside the red zone, just outside the 40 metres. Willie Swan once more, and this time chips it, and I think the winger over on that far side, Jared Mills, would just let that run out of play, which he does.
Substitution for Samoa, number 15, Philip Lua.
And we'll have a scrum down the head and feed to the Maori. And I think, judging by the weight that he put on that, he did mean it to go out and force the scrum. I don't know whether he feels his forwards need a little break.
Come on, the scrum, trainers are off.
Bill Harrigan certainly doesn't want too many trainers on the pitch at any one time, ordering them all off. The scrum head and feed will be to the Maori. There's the substitution. Luluai is off, and the Maori in possession with Jared Mills just inside his own 20. Good run forward on that occasion. Good tackle too from Fafili. It's Jamie Cook, the acting halfback, who just gets that ball out to the left, and they're moving up to the halfway. Rauhihi.
Don't put the hand anywhere near the ball.
Interesting to see this again, actually. He's got the penalty. And Bill Harrigan said the hand was in there. Seemed to come out alarmingly easily. Well, Monty Beetham might just feel a little hard done to there. Terry Hermanson has come on. Tahi Reihana is off. That's a Maori switch. And Maori still with this slender lead. We're still in the opening quarter of this game. Forceful run there on the man with the number 4 on his back. That's Boise Nelson. As they go left, the Maori come back inside. They swing play right. Tupi up supporting his line. Good ball from Nikau to Tupi. Oh, and this is a good chance for Wetuira if he can make the line. He passes that ball back inside. And they're just short. You can see how close they are to those posts. Wetuira getting the ball out along the line. Nikau turns it back to Tupi. And that was a crunching tackle. And it's the last. The ball chipped into the in-goal area. But again, Lower Milford has been a very, very impressive fullback, both on Saturday afternoon in Ireland and here tonight. Certainly doing very well, running the ball back out of his own in-goal. Good pick-up and dived for the player's legs. And a powerful surge forward as Susu tries to clear his lines for Samoa. Well, it's been hard and it's been physical so far, just as we expected. No quarter given, no quarter asked. That's the last. And here comes the kick from inside the 40, so if that could drift out of play, they could have forced a 40-20. They haven't. Ball stays in the field of play, and here's Tupi, one of only 4 players starting this match who started back-to-back games, and there's nobody there at dummy half, and Swan dives on it. And it'll be interesting to see Bill Harrigan's interpretation of that. Well, he's given the Maori the penalty.
Out to the side. Yeah, but you can't stand to the side, you've got to mark him up straight.
Well, they tried to drag Tupi into touch, which didn't work. Well, I think Willie Swan was a little unlucky there. He seemed to be standing in the right position. There was nobody behind Tupi at the play the ball. The penalty goes the Maori way, though. And the Maori substitution. Simon Garros is on for Frank Pulatua. David Kidwell is on for Paul Rauhihi. And the Maori are in possession just inside the Samoan half. It's Tawera Nikau at dummy half. They go right. There's the substitute, David Kidwell. Tyron Smith. His good hands again. As Boise Nelson brings in his wingman, Jared Mills. Well, what a tremendous tackle that was. Lower Milford again. Well, he's quick, and he was quick out of the defensive line there. The Maori still in possession and still with this slender lead. Wetuira tries to get the ball out to Steve Matthews. This is the 6th and last. There's the high kick from Farfili. A dangerous one. And in the end taken, but only after a fashion. Anthony Swan doing well to take that ball back into the field of play as well. Liuma runs it out as far as his own 10, and here's Solomona.
That's 3.
Halfway through this set of 6 then. And the Samoans struggling to make the break, but there's Susu. And Solomona was looking for support there. Still inside the 40. I'm sure it'll be a clearing kick, which it is. Oh, in fact, poaching does well. He dummies. Then he tries to run through. He's got support behind him. Nikau tries to drop on the ball. Willie Swan hacks it on. And the wingman is forced to come across Jared Mills. And Mills, well, he's right underneath his own post. Inspired piece of play there from Willie poaching. Here he comes again. Well, he just dummied David Kidwell, didn't he? 1 or 2 trying to cling on to his jersey. He followed it well. Nikau was going to pounce on it, but Willie Swan was there to just hammer it a little further towards those goal posts. That's the inspiration that the Samoans needed. That's a great run from Terry Hermanson, the man that they call the Rock. Last tackle, knock on. And the referee won't play the scrum because Jeremy Smith, and we have another substitution for the Maori. Toa Koe Love is on. And Jared Mills is off, and this is a lovely run from Lower Milford once more after the Maori were penalised, and you could probably hear the crowd's reaction. I think they feel that the Samoans so far haven't had the rub of the green from the referee Bill Harrigan, but once again Jeremy Smith is penalised. He's the man who's been deputising for Sydney City this season, or one of the men deputising for Adrian Lamb. Let's look at this again, and that ball's stripped out by Jeremy Smith, just 19 years of age, and in a low-scoring contest, and we've seen quite a few low-scoring contests in the Lincoln Financial Group Rugby League World Cup so far, apart from against South Africa and Russia, a couple of the whipping boys, I think you might call them, in this competition. Most of the matches have been very, very close indeed, and they've been quite low-scoring for modern-day rugby league as well.
Okay, Terry's on it.
Tony Tatupu is coming on for the Samoans, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcat. It's Willie Poaching, who cost his side a few points in the first half in Belfast with a poor kicking display. Poaching about to step up. He's a right-footed kicker. It looks pretty simple. Oh, he's made a right hash of that.
Stay behind the kick.
Well, that follows on from his poor kicking display in Belfast. He was replaced after 2 kicks on Saturday. I've got a feeling he might be replaced after 1 tonight. He's the captain, though. It's probably down to him to replace himself. He's got a substitute who's a better kicker on the bench. Probably not a better player, though.
Stay behind that kick.
The Samoans, all being well, will at least get the ball back. They'll have that advantage because it's the drop out from the 20 metres. And that ball well taken by Pulatua. And runs it back over the advantage line. And here's Anthony Swan. So they could yet profit from that penalty. As Luluai brings it forward there into the red zone. They're into the 30. Solomona waiting for the pass. It never came. Beethan, though, just rebounds off a player. An injury to the Maori number 9, Jamie Cook. And there's a drop ball.
It's gone off that one.
Over on the far side, I think that's Tatupu. Bill Harrigan calls it double knock on. There's the injured player.
Green loose and feed. Locks in,
so it's a centre for a winger, the substitution. Toa Koilove, a familiar name to British viewers. Playing for the Warrington Wolves for the last 4 seasons as Tupi is held up. And Bill Harrigan has to shout held twice. Don't know whether they didn't hear him or they were just clinging on for dear life. The Maori back in possession though. And they've run the ball almost out of their own 40.
Let him up.
Well, the ball's just a little slow at the moment. And applause for the tackling over on the far side. Nice carry the player into touch. Well done, Liuma. The pass was into a danger area, though, far too near the touchline, really.
Halfback, blue ball.
Well, I can't believe Jeremy Smith really thought that was his ball to feed the scrum.
You get your head in, Willie.
Here's
Roll
Gulliver.
away from him now, that's 1. Onside to me.
Tupu is at dummy half, finds Pulatua. He's over the halfway line. Good run from the big Samoan prop, and now they spread the ball out to this near side. Here's Mealy, who's proving a handful for the Maori tacklers to ground down. And he may have hurt one of his opposition. Here's Gulliver, just outside the 20. It's Solomona at dummy half. Farfili Swan. He finds Poaching, and Poaching drives through the middle. He's looking for some support. He's just almost hurled the ball anywhere so late in the tackle count. It was probably worthwhile. There weren't enough Samoan runners, that's for sure. And it was pretty easy for the Maori. That ball has gone backwards, and it's back to one, but that one has gone forwards. And the Samoans, this is the best field position they've had, really, in the entire game, because they've got 5 tackles to go from here, after that loose, sloppy piece of play from the Maori. Here's Poaching once more.
That's high. That's on his chin. You got to get him down.
That's high on his chin, according to referee Harrigan, and I don't think Kyle Luluai can have much complaint about that. Interestingly, they ran that ball on the first tackle. Here's Beetham. Fafili finds Swan again. It all pivots round Swan. Here's the drive for the line. Anthony Swan. Well, he's just a metre short there. That is desperately close. And they get over the whitewash. They conceded that early try. That was a dangerous pass, but Fafili still has it. This is good hands from the Samoans. Here's Solomona. He's dangerous, so close to the line. Oliveo just brought down short, but they've still got a few more tackles to go. 3 more tackles to go. Here's Mealy, dives to the line. He's over the line, but he hasn't grounded the ball. And Bill Harrigan, a referee who's rather averse to going to the big screen. He does like to call the decisions himself. In the past, well, in the past that's been his undoing, and I just wonder whether that's his undoing again. The head and feet in this scrum will be the Samoans, but they got very, very close to the try line if they didn't get that ball down, and here we see it again.
Hang on, whoa, 7, half back.
Wow. It looks like it was grounded.
No, I haven't called time. On.
Crowd just getting a little frustrated, I think, with the referee.
Right.
The time is on. Clock's counting again.
That's out, mate. Second rows is out.
A few broke away from the scrum out of the Maori pack then. As Lower Milford joins the line. They're 10 metres out. 5 more tackles to go. And they keep the ball in hand. To Tupu driving forward for the Samoans as they switch play. And the ball back to Pulatua. Another substitute for the Maoris. Martin Moana is the player who's come on. Good offload. Good tackle as well. And Willie Poaching. They've gone backwards. Only 2 tackles left in this count. Here's Swan. They're outside the 10 now, and Solomona drops it. And a distinct lack of ideas there as we approach the half-hour mark here in Cumbria. The Maori still having that slender lead, that early try to Steve Matthews. Good ball from, almost a good ball from Kidwell, good run from Kidwell. He decided to hang on to the ball. Kidwell, one of the Maori try scorers up at Partick Thistle's ground in Glasgow on Sunday. Here's the kick, the right-footed kick, downfield. And was that a 40-20? It'll be interesting to see where that was kicked from. Another substitution. Susu is back on the field for Samoa, in place of Frank Pulatua. Now let's have a look at the referee. Which way is he going to give head and feed?
Green ball, 40-20, green ball.
It was a 40-20. Well, Bill Harrigan's indication wasn't particularly clear, but I think he's got the
green
decision
ball.
right.
All heads down, locks in, Willie in.
He was definitely into the 20. I just wasn't sure whether the kicker had started from inside the 40. Excellent kick. It's given the Maori position in a very dangerous area of the field. Here's Wetuira. Wetuira is brought to ground. Under 10 minutes remaining in this first half, and this is excellent field position for the Maori. They'll be looking to add to their narrow lead before half-time. Here's Jeremy Smith. Smith finds Nikau on the burst. Never an easy man to put down. They managed it there. The ball turned back to Ray Hana. Here's Wetuira again. He has support in the shape of Koa Love, who's a prolific try scorer, right behind him, and Koa Love there has gone to dummy half. That ball may have hit a Samoan hand. The referee certainly didn't see if it did. It is the last tackle. Jamie Cook gets the ball out. That's a long pass, and that's well taken over on the far side by the wingman, Liuma. And Liuma is brought to ground. Just for a moment, I think many of the crowd thought he might go the length of the field with the ball in his hands. Here's another of the substitutes, Luluai, Philip Luluai. We've got a Luluai on either side. Look at that. Oh, that was a great take. Great take, but just didn't have the pace to round Tupi. But they've got the penalty, and they've got a bit of forward momentum now, have the Samoans. Anthony Swan takes the tap penalty, and Susu has bust a couple of tackles there. He's a very, very strong player, the Auckland Warrior. He's a non-stop defender, but he's also a very, very sparky attacker. Swan gets that ball back to Beetham. They've got 4 more tackles to go in this count. They took that play the ball very quickly indeed as they play it out to the far side to Tupu, who's brought to ground right over on that far right-hand side. Here's the captain, Willie Poaching, and he almost burst through there. They'll try the direct route from dummy half. It was Beetham, the hooker. And here's Swan with the chip kick. Oh, very well picked up by the fullback Tupi. He was very impressive on Sunday afternoon, it has to be said. And aside from his one little mistake tonight, his knock-on inside his own 20 earlier in the game, he's been quite impressive. Look how he took that ball up with the greatest of ease, really. Good tackling there from David Solomona. Steve Matthews, the scorer of the only try tonight, losing ours for that tackle, but nothing wrong with that, according to referee Bill Harrigan. That was a good run from Tyron Smith. Jeremy Smith knocked onto his back. Frank Pulatua is back on the field for Max Fala. That's a Samoan substitution. Player hit slightly late, but the Samoan player was committed to the tackle. And the wingman just runs that ball back. 6.5 minutes, plus a bit of stoppage time to go. Referee Harrigan stopped the clock on a couple of occasions tonight. Here's Mealy just trying to barge his way forward. Poaching finds the fullback Milford, and Milford again barges a couple out of the way. The Samoans have pretty quickly got the crowd up in Cumbria on their side. They are the underdogs, and the British love an underdog. The Maori favourites to win this match, and possibly along with Ireland, joint favourites to win the group. They both won the opening games, the Irish and the Maori, and that should be some clash at the weekend in Dublin when they meet. But here is Willie Poaching, just showed the ball and then gave it back to the substitute to Tupu, and Tupu is still going, and this is good hands from the Samoans. It's back with Poaching, and that ball has hit a Maori hand. It's back to 1. They need to keep the ball in hand really here now, the Samoans. They don't need to try anything particularly foolish so early in the tackle count. They've got the next set of 6. Here's Solomona. That's come off a Maori hand as well. It'll be back to 1, but they never got it. And in fact, because it's been pounced on by the try scorer tonight, Steve Matthews, it will be a scrum. The head and feed will be to the Samoans. The physio is on, the water carriers are on.
Don't come on in the scrum. Half-back pill. Blue ball.
And we have another substitution, this one for the Samoans.
Get off.
Pulatua is back on. And the man who's gone off is Philip Luluai.
No, hang on, you got blood on you. You got blood. You got blood, the same as I got rid of them.
I think Bill Harrigan has spotted that a player is bleeding. That's the blood bin card, the green card with the white cross. Well, he's got and comes straight back on. I think he's probably just wiped his injury on a piece of cloth or something, and he's back on.
Even go in. That was around the side, put it in behind his foot. Bring it around, put it in the hole, put it in the hole.
Well, Bill Harrigan happy with the scrum at the second attempt. And there's the fullback running onto that ball again. He really is an awkward customer to stop. So far, the Maori have repelled everything that Samoa have been able to throw at them. Here's Willie poaching, who's been a star man so far for the Samoans. Willie Swan's at the heart of everything too. Tutupu is brought to ground just outside the 10 metres. This time they switch play out to the left-hand side. Solomon, a lovely ball out of the back door there. Here's Fafili, who's going to try the pass through his legs for a moment. Dummy half, it's Gulaveo. Here's Solomona. Very, very difficult to stop, so close to the line. He threw the ball away, though. And once more, it's been pounced on by the Maori defence. And here's Kidwell to run it out, one of the substitutes, the try scorer from Sunday afternoon. A top player in Australia's NRL. And we're closing in on the halfway mark in this match. There's the handling areas. I'm quite surprised, actually. The Maori have made more than Samoa, but Samoa have certainly made most of theirs when they've been attacking in the final third of the field. Hence the reason they have no points. The Maori have 4 from that early try to Steve Matthews. A sloppy try as far as the Samoan defence are concerned. They didn't deal with the kick, and now Rauhihi absolutely bursting forward for the Maori. This is the last tackle. Here's Jeremy Smith. Kicks it deep. I think that will hold up in the wet grass. And Mealy takes it and runs it back into play. He's a little near the touchline there. And I think the Maori defenders realised that. They certainly took him towards the touchline. And here's Gulaveo to bring the ball out of the 20. 2 minutes of this half remaining, plus stoppage time. And a good run forward from Frank Pulatua. Well, Bill Harrigan said get your foot on it. I did think that there was a complete absence of a foot on that last play of the ball, in which case it should really have been a penalty. Just a warning though, as Poaching takes it downfield. Kidwell with the tackle. Max Fowler is back on in place of David Solomona, just having an extra lengthy half-time break. The man from Sydney City. That's a good break from Boise Nelson, or a half break anyway. Tutupu just dragging him back by the shirt tail. Here's Tupi running sideways and running dangerously close to that left-hand touchline. Another low-scoring game in this World Cup as Boise Nelson drives it towards the halfway line. And a sloppy pass there. It bounced once. It was well picked up by Kidwell. That's the halfway line, you can see. Monty Beethan doing his stint of tackling. Luluai and Matthews. Matthews is a surprise. He's a wingman, and he's in the top 3 tacklers in this match so far. We don't often see that. That ball has been played by a Maori foot, or a Samoan foot, or rather it's hit a Samoan foot. It wasn't played at, so it wasn't back to 6, and hence that's why the Maori kicked again. The Samoans are back in possession. They're deep inside their own half. Lola Milford has broken the tackle. Can he get the pass out? He can. Here's Anthony Swan. Swan cuts inside and can't beat his marker. Good tackle coming in from Luke Goodwin there. Good break once again though by the Samoans. Tawera Nikau not standing square at that play the ball. That was a risky pass from Willie Swan. It worked. He's got it out to the far side to Liumu. 2 tackles to go. That ball dropped. I think it's gone backwards though. Here's Beethan again. And this will be the last tackle. Now can they, the Samoans, put in a dangerous kick for once? Their kicking hasn't been very good. That's a better one though. Poaching couldn't quite pick it up. And there you can hear in the background the piercing noise of the hooter, and that was a much better kick from Farfili this time. And I tell you what, if Poaching had got that, he might have crashed his way through the fullback. Good tackle from Tupi. There's the try scorer. That's Steve Matthews, and the man who's made 11 tackles in the first half. As I say, extraordinary for a winger to get into double figures for tackles in a half a rugby match. He's the try scorer though, Steve Matthews, as the Samoans troop off. I think they'll be disappointed, Samoa. They've had plenty of time and plenty of efforts on the Maori line, but there's the scoreline in black and white. Samoa 0, Maori 4 at half-time. Just that solitary try from Matthews. Now coaching, or helping the coaching staff at Wigan, and we're underway in the second half with the Maori still holding on to that very, very narrow lead, 4 points to 0, which means that this game is by no means over yet. And that's the first strong run of the second half from Pulatua, who's been impressive in the first 40. Monty Beethan has carried the ball forward as well from the hooking role. And there's the captain and probably the star man, I'd say, Willie Poaching for the Samoans. It's Ireland leading Scotland by 10 points to 6 in the other game in Dublin. So again, that's a very close one. This group that was known as the group of death. There always has to be one in any World Cup in whatever sport, and we're just watching a Samoan knock on from the fullback Lower Milford. This was dubbed the group of death in this World Cup. There's the handling errors. They're getting pretty even now, 8-7. The Maori have made slightly the more. So 10-6 over in Dublin, 4-0 here in Workington. Both matches could easily turn round, and there's a mistake on the first tackle straight from the scrum. Jeremy Smith, the scrum half, he was running wide. I think, to be fair to him, he was looking to pass it. And in fact, I think it's come off the Samoan player last. I don't think he took the ball over the whitewash. And I think they're a bit unfortunate there, the Maori. I think they should have got that ball back, really. But there is Fafili for the Samoans, just inside their own 40. Another good run from the big prop forward, Frank Pulatua of the Penrith Panthers club in Australia. We've got a Penrith just down the road here in Cumbria. Not so much of a rugby league hotbed though, although Cumbria itself is. And here is a good run from Jerry Soso. One of the star men in the first half. He certainly has made a great impact. He's got plenty of go forward for the Samoans, and they've started off this second half pretty well. Here's Fafili. Fafili's done well. He dummies, he's going for the line, and Fafili has scored just 2.5 minutes into the second half. And the Samoans, through the Auckland Warrior, Henry Fafili, who's usually a winger, a change to the side tonight. Henry Fafili, to give him his full title, has scored the equalising try. It was well worked, it was good hands, a good dummy there, and another one there, and he just shrugged off Boise Nelson as if he wasn't there. Well, they bought a couple of dummies there. That ball turned back inside from Willie Swan on the previous play. There's the strong run from Jerry Susu. Fine game he's having. Milford at acting half-back, Swan with the pass to Fafili. Well, that's poor defence, but credit to the standoff. Very, very impressive effort from him. And he levels the scores. And as I said, just at the start of the second half, this game really is still there for the taking for either of these teams. Now, Samoa should really be leading because Poaching missed a very simple kick in the first half. This one is more difficult, and wouldn't you know it, he's kicked it off the upright, but he's kicked it nonetheless. Well, credit to him for having another go, Willie Poaching. Here's a rerun of the try once more. And a good try it was too. Look at the way he just dummied to pass. They had numbers out there, so I suppose reasonable of the Maori side to expect the pass. That was a weak tackle at the end from Boise Nelson, and Samoa have the lead, 6 points to 4. As I say, it could easily be 8 because Poaching, who's just kicked that goal. Missed a much simpler effort in the first half, and the conditions aren't bad. I know we've had some awful weather for this World Cup so far, which has hit the crowds, and travel has proved to be very difficult as well. But we've got a decent crowd inside Derwent Park. They do love their rugby league up here in Workington and just down the road at Whitehaven, and also at Barrow, just a little further down the coast. A good crowd and good conditions. The pitch is in quite good nick. It's a bit boggy, a bit marshy on the margins. Down the middle, nice and grassy. And I think the ball will have got quite slippery. Good tackle and good wrapping up there from the New Zealand Maori. Uncompromising play from Rahihi and Reihana. The Samoans have definitely started this second half with a flourish. Anthony Swan looks outside him, finds Willie Swan, and Willie Swan kicks towards the corner. That ball holds up. Tupi leaves it for his wingman out on that far side. And that's good play by the try scorer Steve Matthews. In the end, he made 12 tackles in that first half, as well as scoring the Maori try. Tupi with a slightly risky ball, but it was well picked up by Jeremy Smith. And here's Toa Koe-Love, the substitute, the Warrington Wolf, and he makes it to within the red zone, the Samoan 40. Excellent run from Koe-Love. Smith gets the ball to Goodwin, and Goodwin in turn hands it on, and that's good play from the Maori side. Here's Rauhihi, 15 metres from the Samoan try line. It's the hooker Cook at dummy half. Again, the ball out onto that far side. Here's Tupi going from dummy half. Oh, good tackling. I thought for a moment he was going over for the softest of tries, but a combination of Milford and Mealy kept him out. Excellent two-man tackle. In fact, Goloveo was the other player there, not the fullback Milford. And a Samoan player, Goloveo, sustained a slight knock there. I think he'll be all right. He's just taken the bang. It was brave defence. It saved a certain try, and Tupi has a nose for a try, having scored 2 against the Scots on Sunday afternoon. Might have just taken an elbow as Tupi fell backwards, and you can see the mud there. That's the speedway track here at Derwent Park. I'm told they've got hot rod cars on this speedway track tomorrow, American hot rod cars. I'd rather be here tonight, I think, watching what's turning out to be an absorbing contest. The Samoans possibly denied a try in the first half. Solomona thought he'd scored. I think the Maori tacklers thought he'd scored. Bill Harrigan said he hadn't. He didn't use the video referee. But the Samoan side have bounced back from that misfortune, and they are now leading in the early stages of this second half. Good defending once more. Good tackle as well from Jamie Cook.
You make the tackle, take the hands off. 3, dominant tackle.
Run there from Kulatua. You can probably hear in the background the referee is, I think, getting a bit frustrated, as are one or two of the players, by the length of time it's taking to play the ball. He wants the tacklers to release much quicker in this second half. The natural inclination, obviously, as defences tire, is to actually hold down for a little longer. They're on their own 40. Here's the kick. Well, I think that's come off the head of his own player. Oh, and it's been knocked forward.
We're going to play. We're going to play. We're going to play an accidental offside. I've got no advantage here. It will be a change over to them.
Watuira was the man who picked up and knocked on. It is the turnover. Accidental offside was the verdict. Well, certainly there was no way it was deliberate, as that ball hit the big forward's head.
Pull him back.
Might have knocked a bit of sense into him, who knows. Forceful run there.
That's dominant, that's 2.
From the Maoris out wide with Tahi Reihana, former Bradford Bull. Played a season there. A very, very popular player he was too. The Maori 22 metres out. Nikau, their captain, finds Cook. Cook to Luke Goodwin. Goodwin chips. That's a good kick, and it's touched down And will the referee check for the offside? Boise Nelson has touched down. I don't think there was anything wrong with the grounding. This time, the referee...
Well, he's doing his job, you just walk away.
...is going to use the video screen. One or two words of advice from Lower Milford for the in-goal touch judge.
Don't talk to him. He's got a job to do. Don't talk to him, right?
And that in-goal touch judge did his job. As Bill Harrigan was saying, his job is to adjudicate on the try if he's not 100% sure. And to be fair, I think he'll be sure about the grounding. Well, he should be from his position there. You can see the in-goal touch judge. But I think we certainly have to check the offside on a kick like this. There's no big screen here, but the video referee can check the pictures. And there's a red or green light system. There's the kick. Well, it doesn't prove conclusively whether the player Boise Nelson was onside or offside.
Up there.
It'll be very interesting whether it proves conclusively whether there was downward pressure on the ball. The try's given. He was onside and there was downward pressure. The try is awarded. Boise Nelson the scorer, and the Maori are back in the lead, a narrow lead, 8 points to 6.
That's a try for Maori. We're just waiting for confirmation that we've got the try there. And it's number 4 try for Maori.
Applause for Boise Nelson. First remember seeing him play in the Lion Red 13 against Great Britain back in 1996 at Carlaw Park in Auckland, which was as muddy as it is here, really. And that night, a 22-all draw between a Great Britain 13 and a New Zealand side. Oh, and that's a good kick. Beautifully placed from Luke Goodwin. He missed with the first conversion attempt. No mistake with that one, and that was over all the way. Over from the moment it left his boot. That was a good kick there from Luke Goodwin, both the conversion and that was a good kick as well, wasn't it? A little grubber, and there, I think definitely downward pressure. Video referee has certainly called that right. I don't know whether we got conclusive proof of the onside offside, but the benefit of the doubt certainly going with the attacker, and that's downward pressure, no problem with that. As a try, and it's 10 points to 6. The Maori pen back now inside their own 20. Run forward from Rauhihi. Here's Nika. Spreads play out to Moana, and then on this near side to Watu Era. That's a good run there from David Kidwell, the Parramatta centre. He can also play in the forwards, though. You can probably tell that from his size. He's a big lad. Martin Moana, who's a clever footballer, now playing for Halifax Blue Sox, one of the stars of their season. The Samoan substitution, Solomona is back on, Max Fowler is off, and the Samoans are back in possession with their fullback Milford. He wasn't happy about the in-goal touch judge going to the big screen. There's confirmation on your screen of the replacement. Solomona back on, and he's had a good first half, and this is a good break over on that far side by Joe Gallaveo, and he's brought to ground right on halfway. Took a little time for the play the ball to get underway. Here's Solomona again. Good run, good offload. They're keeping it alive well, despite conceding that try a few moments ago. I think the Samoans have shaded this second half in the opening 12 minutes of the half. I think they'll be disappointed, having taken the lead, to have lost it so quickly. Here's poaching. It's the last tackle. They're still a good 40 metres out, so if they're going to kick, it will need to be a good one. It isn't really. Oh, well, it is. It's turned out to be a good one, because the referee says that's back to one. Here's Lower Milford driving forward, and that must be offside.
Wait, he's offside. You're here.
There's the kick. And it was well pounced on by the Samoans, wasn't it? Could easily have lost the ball there. That ball turned back to Jerry Susu, and Susu from the little offload from Pulatua, just short of that try line. Now, where are the Samoan big guns? Here's an excellent try. It's Farfili again. Well, he's having a wonderful night, isn't he? A wonderful second half. The standoff, because he just picked up possession. There didn't seem much on. He's blowing kisses into the air, Farfili. But my, how well he took that try. Henry O. Farfili. The Samoan 6. What a great opening quarter of an hour of this second half. Just a couple of little dummies, pretty reminiscent of his first try. He threw a couple then. He's proving to be an elusive runner. Pretty simple, really. Beetham out to him, steps off the left foot, and then runs diagonally towards the post. Good try. Squares the score at 10-10. And I tell you what, Willie Poaching will be pleased that he angled that run back towards the posts. Because this, despite that awful miss in the first half from Poaching, should be the opportunity to give the Samoans the lead back. You can hear the applause. It is. Samoa lead by 12 points to 10. Darryl Williams, the Samoan coach, will be pleased with that. Lovely piece of individualism there from the standoff. A quick play the ball. A couple of lovely shimmies there. Well, it was easy to get over the line in the end. And the Maori have made a mistake from the kickoff. They've hammered the ball straight out of play. So it will be a penalty to Samoa on the halfway line. And that's exactly what the New Zealand Maori side didn't want. They've made a lot of changes tonight. I just wonder whether they underestimated the Samoan side. A couple more substitutions for the Maori. Terry Hermanson, the Rock, is back on for Tahi Reihana. And Tyron Smith is back on for David Kidwell. So a couple of the top NRL players in the Maori side, but they made 9 changes to the starting lineup, 9 changes to the 13. And there you can see the second half possession, 65 to 35 percentage-wise in favour of the Samoans. Oh, and here's Farfili again. Farfili with a little offload. Great ball to Goloveo. And Goloveo is brought down just about 5 metres short over on the far side, the left-hand side. That was a sloppy pass, but it's gone backwards. It's with Susu. Susu finds the standoff once more. Farfili, 4 tackles gone, 2 to go in this tackle count. This is great field position for the Samoans. Here's Solomona, turns that ball back inside to the scrum half, Willie Swan, and Swan burrows his way forward. He's gone over on his knees, and he was never tackled, never properly tackled, the tackle not completed. And Bill Harrigan, quite correctly, awards the try, and Willie Swan extends that lead for the Samoans. And things going from bad to worse for the Maori in the second half, but Samoa really have raced their game. Lovely ball from Solomona, and Swan, like a good halfback, scrambling for all his worth. Nikau was there was another tackler there too, but no way was the tackle completed. Sometimes it's more difficult at close range to stop the little guys and the big guys, and there's the scrum half, stretches out his right hand, and Willie Swan makes it 16 points to 12. Well, this is an important kick, because the margin at the moment, the 6 points, is a try and a goal under Rugby League scoring system, but this, which would stretch it to 8 points, would mean the Maori would have to score twice, 2 tries. Oh, and he's missed it. He's pulled it badly across the face of the sticks. That's the second time he's done that tonight. They could be leading by 10. As it is, the Samoans are leading by 6, but I think they'll be quite happy having trailed at half-time. They've come on strong in this second half. Again, that man right to the fore, wasn't he, the standoff, Henry Farfili, There's a good ball there to Galaveo, who went close, but look at that for a ball. Solomona at the back door. Scrambling effort from Willie Swan. Change to the Maori side. Kyle Luluai is on for Paul Rauhihi. And the Samoans are back in possession. It proved costly, didn't it, that mistake from the kickoff from the Maori. They kicked out on the full. There's the missed tackles, and look at that. 16 from the Maori, only 5 from Samoa. And this is a much improved performance from the Samoans, who were very disappointing on Saturday, although they were starved of the football in Belfast. They were, I think, 30% they had in the first half of the ball. The Irish almost 70%.
And lost.
That ball has been lost.
And lost. He had one-on-one anyway. There's only one bloke on him, and he lost it when he hit the deck. The Maori bloke pulled it forward.
Lost the ball. It was a one-on-one tackle in any case, you probably heard Bill Harrigan saying, which he was. And he lost the ball when he hit the deck. And both those statements are absolutely true. So it's a scrum down. If the Maori tackler, of course, had managed to hold on to the ball, he would have just played on. The scrum down, head and feed to the Maori. Fed by Jeremy Smith. Out along the line to the right-hand side. There's with the distinctive features of Toa Koilov, distinctive to those who follow the Super League action here in Great Britain.
Make the tackle, let go, mark it straight.
Nick out, brought to ground by Tatupu, just short of the red zone, the 40-metre mark. The ball now with Tupi. Not been quite as impressive tonight as he was on Sunday, and that's a brilliant tackling stint. How many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4 Samoan tacklers on Tupi. When he got the ball, he wasn't particularly near that line. 3 of them, in fact. He just couldn't fall to the ground. Tupi there might have been better advised giving Watuira the centre the ball. But well played, those tacklers.
Locks in, both sides.
He's an impressive player.
No weight.
He won't be pleased with that, though. Clinton Tupi. Definitely one for the future. And there's a bad mistake. He's regathered the ball. That won't fool Bill Harrigan. The wingman Mealy taking the short pass. I don't think there was much wrong with the pass from Farfili. And mistakes coming thick and fast. Remember, for a lot of these players, particularly the Samoans, who've only made a couple of changes tonight, this is a second game in the space of 3 or 4 days.
You get down, you keep your hands to yourself.
Which is a big ask in rugby league these days. Harrigan happy with the scrum on this occasion. They bring Tupi into the line again. He attacks at pace. Good tackling from Anthony Swan. Got down well. Brought down the man with him. Here's Watuira. Have Tupi in support. It's Boise Nelson there, waiting at dummy half. The scorer of the second Maori try tonight, the one after half-time, but the Samoans have now scored 16 points in this second half. Here's Toa Koilov. Just inside the 10-metre mark, right-hand side. Into that short pass. Close quarters. But can't make it to the line. Bit of sloppy handling. It's well played. They've kept hold of it there. Pulatua making the tackle. Can't quite see who the Maori player is, who's almost buried there by the tacklers as that ball's chipped into the in-goal area. Well played by Lower Milford. And that's going to be a penalty. He was down, says referee Harrigan.
Pulled him back in. I called him to play the ball.
Milford had done well. He'd taken the ball, I think we'll see here, back into the field of play. He'd not knocked it on, he'd collected it cleanly. He'd carried it over the try line, back into the field of play. And there was a punch went in there. That was from Jeremy Smith. I think it would have been a little difficult for Bill Harrigan to see that, but perhaps the touch judge on this near side, maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked, but there were some oohs and ahs from the crowd down below me. Things getting very, very physical. Another man in charge of the refereeing at this tournament, Greg McCallum, felt there were far too many high tackles in the opening few games over the weekend. And they're trying to milk the penalty there. Well spotted by the referee. He wasn't falling for that one.
5 last. Let him up, T. Back to me, fellas. Green,
and a
keep
good ball
coming,
forward.
keep coming.
And here's the kick on the last. Another Samoan substitute. Philip Luluai is back on. Frank Pulatua is off as the ball goes dead. So that was a poor kick. The Maori will have the football on the 20-metre mark. Still anybody's game here. Samoa 16, the Maori 10. Just 6 points in it. A converted try is all the Maori need. You have to say, though, they haven't had good field position in this second half. We've only got 17 minutes to go, so this second half has been more entertaining points-wise than the first. The game has opened up a little. But the Samoans have definitely had the better of it. The Maori just forcing their way up to the halfway line. There's Jamie Cook. Cook with the ball out along the line, but they've made no yardage at all there. Luke Goodwin couldn't go anywhere. The ball chipped down this near side. I think Samoa will be happy to let that run out of play. They are. Boise Nelson tried to reach it and stab it forward. He couldn't do so. Ireland at 18, Scotland 12 is a score we're just being given on the PA system here at Derwent Park. So it would be a very, very open group still. Ireland would have cemented a place
Wait half to all the seconds and everyone's
in the quarterfinals if the scoreline stays like that. If it stays like this, though, it's really between the Samoa and Maori for that other place.
Pull back to me, Green.
And that would depend on the outcome of the matches at the weekend.
That's 2.
Sounds a good game, though, over in Dublin, doesn't it? Sounds close. Just a try and a goal in that one as well. 6 points the margin here. Samoa coming forward, still inside their own red zone. And 1 or 2 in the crowd didn't like that effort from Tyron Smith.
That's 4.
The big Maori number 12. 4 tackles gone, 2 to go in this set of 6. Beethan spreads play out to Willie Swan. Here's Solomona. Solomona has proved a hard man to stop in this match. They're just outside the 40. The kick comes in from poaching. That's well taken by the winger Matthews, the scorer of the opening try. And Matthews does well and breaks away in open play. And Matthews has got support if he does but know it outside him. He cuts in field, and really he should have gone the other way, I think, there. Possibly didn't see the man. Good break, though, from the wingman.
2.
And a chance now as Boise Nelson brings it forward for the New Zealand Maoris. They decide not to go blind. They go on the open side. There's a drop ball, and Samoa are back in possession with Willie Poaching, their captain.
And
the Maori side really haven't had the rub of the green really in this second half in terms of their ball handling. They've made a lot of mistakes. We're just watching that run from Matthews once more. He came infield, he came left towards us in our commentary position. Outright, there was a man in support, although whether he'd have had the pace to go all the way, I'm not quite sure. Moana and Luluai there with the big hit. There's Matthews again, right in the thick of the action. Robust challenge over on that far side. And the Maori just running up the defensive line. There's Farfili to make the tackle. Nikau, the Maori captain, into the Samoan 40 metres. In fact, they're only 30 metres from the try line. There's the substitute Terry Hermanson halfway through this set of 6. Hermanson gets to his feet. It's a scruffy play the ball. Nothing wrong with it, though, despite the roars from the crowd. That little kick forward, that's a good kick forward from Luke Goodwin, brilliantly taken by Lower Milford. This time he is caught in his own in-goal area. He still did well, though. He's been a very, very impressive player in both matches so far. There he is, took that superbly. He did try with all his might to get back into the field of play. Koa Love was the first tackler there. And they forced the drop out, but Lower Milford has shown up well. He's a former Combined Skills Rugby Union player. 24 years old. He's
Fellas, you're all behind.
now at the
Stay
West
inside.
Tigers club in Sydney, Australia. And he scored a good try on Sunday afternoon. Another substitution for Samoa. Frank Pulatua is back on the field. Philip Luluai has gone off, so that was a pretty quick interchange. The rain has started to come down at Derwent Park. To be fair, we were promised showers and quite heavy rain spells by the weather forecasters. They've held off until the last quarter of this match. There's the tackles made, and you can see the extra tackles that the Maori have been forced to make in this game. 128 to 102. That's about 25% more tackles. And that's hard work in these conditions. The Maori on the attack. Oh, that's a good ball. That's a good ball. And they've scored. Rauhihi is the man who's gone over. Well, he burst onto that ball at pace. And to be honest, as soon as Paul Rauhihi got that ball, you sensed that he was too big, too quick, and too strong for the Samoans to stop him. He almost made the New Zealand squad itself. That's a little pass here. Great ball. And Gulaveo's attempted tackle nowhere near good enough to stop a player with the strength of Rauhihi. Milford went a little high. He got him down. By then he was already over the whitewash. And a very, very important kick coming up here. Luke Goodwin will be the man to take it. This would tie the scores at 16 all. He's hit the post. You saw it hit the upright, the left-hand upright, and just like one of Willie Poaching's kicks tonight, it just trickled over. It's 16 apiece. And remember, this was the scoreline at Partick on Sunday until the last 5 minutes when Gene Namu, who's not playing tonight, dropped a goal. The goal that won it for the Maori. Killed off Scottish hopes. Well, there's no Namu tonight to drop a goal. We've got 10 minutes to go. I wonder if we have anybody on the pitch who can, even in these damp conditions with the rain lashing down, can get the field goal. Another substitution for the Samoans. Jerry Susu has come back on for Tony Tutupu. There's a penalty for the Maori. Swan stealing the ball. 2-on-1 though was the verdict. You can't do that in rugby league. 1-on-1 tackles, you can reef the ball out. Well, it was a two-man tackle, even though you could only see one man there. It's a two-man tackle if at any stage in the tackle somebody else has got involved, and you saw that the Maori player had nearly been tackled by one Samoan defender, was tackled by Swan, stealing the ball therefore illegal. The Maori perhaps setting up for the field goal. The attempt comes in, not a very good attempt from Luke Goodwin. It hits the foot of the post, could easily have rebounded kindly. That ball squirms out of Milford's arms. It's gone back. Went backwards. That was the call from the referee. And even from this angle, I'm pretty sure that was right. But, well, you can see what the Maori idea was. They'd be quite happy to win a second game, 17-16. It would be an uncanny coincidence. Here's Solomona. Very slippy out there. They're trying to drag him into touch. Referee's called held. Solomona's just stayed in the field of play. Well, they're far too far out in any case to try a drop goal. Only time will tell if Samoa can get down into the business end of the field, whether they've got a drop goal specialist in their ranks. That kicking hasn't been particularly good. They should be leading, but for a couple of easy conversion and penalty attempts they've missed. There's the long kick downfield, picked up by Tupi and wrapped up immediately by Pulatua. Poaching was there too, and Poaching's had a very, very impressive game. I don't think the captain's been off the field at all, so it's been a very solid stint from Willie Poaching, who's staying at Wakefield Trinity despite their financial problems. He's re-signed for next year.
That's 4, mark it, don't move till it clears the ruck. 4, hold, mark
Jeremy
it,
Smith.
hold.
Heavy tackle on him there. I think he's just a bit
5
groggy.
last, mark it, don't go too quick. 7, hold.
This is the last tackle. Lovely the clearing kick downfield from Luke Goodwin. The Maoris have brought back on Tahi Rehana for Terry Hermanson, and that's a good run forward from Laloa Milford again. He really has been impressive. Run the ball back ever so well, virtually every time he's got hold of it.
2.
Here's Mealy from over on the left wing. There he is, he collected it. It was an easy collect, to be fair, but look how he waltzed past the first tackler and almost got past Luke Goodwin. Now they have got reasonable field position, perhaps for the one-pointer, or maybe they'll get a try. Here's Willie Swan. He scored their 3rd try. It's 3 tries apiece on the night. It's 16 points apiece on the night. That was well picked up there by Pulatua. Pulatua runs forward. Silly offload under the circumstances. Should have kept hold and set up the 1. Here we come again. Good run.
2.
No real need to do that. Samoa using yet another substitution.
3.
Philip Luluai is back on for Mark Leafa.
4.
Good tackling, although that was very nearly a flop from Susu. Then forward over on the far side from Jamie Cook. This is the last tackle. Here's Luke Goodwin. Shapes to kick and then doesn't. He's going to try and follow up his own kick. He hasn't done it. The ball in broken play now. It's picked up by the Samoans. That's good play from Willie Poaching. Poaching manages to get the ball back to Anthony Swan, and Swan drives it in. There's 1 substitute left for each side. Remember the World Cup rules, in agreement with the Australians. There's a bit of a mix of European and Australasian rules, really. 4 substitutes, 12 substitutions, including blood bins, and both teams have used 11. There are 5 minutes to go. This is exactly the time that the Maoris kicked their drop goal that won them the game up at Glasgow on Sunday. I thought the Samoans might have done the same. They didn't, they ran the ball, and that was a forward pass, no question about it. Farfili with the ball out to the wing. Well, he's shaking his head. And there's no question that Bill Harrigan got that decision absolutely right. There's the man of the match, Henry O'Farfili. And I think you would be hard-pressed to argue with that. He would certainly have got my vote had I been asked. There have been some tireless efforts among the forwards. Willie Poaching must have run in close, the Samoan captain wearing the number 13. Laloa Milford's played well as well at full-back for Samoa, but I think by virtue of those 2 tremendous second-half tries, which got Samoa right back into the game, tries 1 and 2 for them, Willie Swan with their 3rd. I think Henry O'Farfili deserves his Man of the Match award. Will he be on the winning team, though? Will he be on the losing team? Or will they share the spoils? The crowd, 4,107, and in a nice compact stadium like this, they've made plenty of noise, they've enjoyed it. It's one of the better World Cup crowds, and there have been plenty of interest up here in Cumbria. I think they've greatly enjoyed what they've seen. Here's another attempt at the drop goal. It was going to be an attempt at the drop goal. In the end, it was a very poor attempt because Luke Goodwin there could not find the space that he needed. Took a knock. The Samoans had lined him up, to be fair. They knew that if we were going to see a field goal, as they call it down under, that Goodwin was the Maori man to make an attempt. 2 tackles gone, 4 to go in this set of 6. We have just 3 minutes to go, and we've not yet seen a Samoan attempt at the one-pointer. I wonder whether we will. There's 3 tackles remaining, and they're 40 metres out, maybe a couple of drives down the middle. Bill Harrigan still doing a lot of talking to the players. There's the first burst down the middle. I think if they've called this right, here's poaching, and poaching this time looks for the offload, decides against it. This could be the field goal attempt. It is. The right footer. Oh, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. And it's through. The crowd waited and waited and waited until the referee put his arm up. But Willie Swan kicked that with some aplomb. It really was an impressive effort, that. Not easy kicking drop goals in these conditions. That ball played back. Poaching had done well on the previous tackle. He'd made a good 10 metres. The ball turned back about 30 metres out. You see the in-goal touch judge racing to check that it had cleared the crossbar, which it clearly had. And the Maori, well, they could be hoisted by their own petard here. They've been given a taste of their own medicine. They won 17-16 up in Scotland with a late drop goal. About 5 minutes from time that was. Are they about to lose this one to an even later one-pointer? Well, the Samoans doing exactly right now. They're taking their time at the play the ball. Beetham just finds Willie Swan, and Swan still going forward. That was a one-on-one tackle, nothing wrong with that, but now they've got another 6 tackles. It was clever play from the Maori tackler, but none of his teammates responded and tried to get the football. Here's Philip Luluai. I wonder if they'll try another. We're into the last minute. There will be a little bit of stoppage time possibly. Here's Monty Beetham. Goes for the margins on the right-hand side, just making the yards down the blind side. Here's the centre, Anthony Swan, and Swan running direct. Running straight and true, and brought down just inside the 10 metres. Here's Willie Swan. Swan looks outside and finds Anthony Swan, throws the ball away, but it's been knocked on. That's back to 6 again. This is a real chance for the Samoans to wrap up this game. Max Fowler drives the ball in. Here's Willie Swan. In fact, no, it's the fullback, Loa Milford. Loa Milford has sealed the victory for the Samoans. And my word, they're happy about it. It was a simple try, the defence getting tired, that ball just picked up from the dummy half position, and Loa Milford, who's had another impressive game for the Samoans tonight. That was a good run forward, just short of the try line. And there is Milford. Well, he's bounced the ball down. It'll be interesting to see whether there was definitely downward pressure on that. Here it comes in slow motion. Well, you saw Swan give the ball away really there. There was no need to do that, but then the Maori couldn't pick it up. It was a good run forward from Max Fowler, the substitute prop. And there is Milford to plonk the ball down. And Bill Harrigan didn't feel inclined to go to check that there was downward pressure. He was happy with his own judgment and the judgment of his in-goal touch judge. We've got a change of kicker now. Henry O'Fafili, the man of the match, is just trying to, I would imagine, wrap up the game. Oh, that's I tell you what, it's a dreadful effort, and if they're going to go further in this competition as the final hooter blows, they're really going to have to improve their kicking. That's 3 easy chances missed, 6 points wasted. On the night, it hasn't mattered. A good crowd here inside Derwent Park. They've enjoyed that. Possibly not as much as the Samoans have enjoyed it. A couple of them throwing their arms around each other. Darryl Williams, well, I'm not sure I saw him break into a smile there, but I'm sure he'll have pleasant words for his team. There is the try. Well, you can make your own mind up with that one. You could argue a case both ways, I think. You could argue he virtually bounced the ball down. You could possibly argue there was downward pressure. As it happened, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, although it has improved their points difference. They've got a positive points difference now, having won this match by 7 points. And there's the congratulations being offered by the Maori. Well, they take no prisoners on the field, the New Zealand Maori, but they're very, very sporting off it. And a big hand from this excellent crowd here at Derwent Park. I tell you what, they've thoroughly enjoyed this. And why wouldn't they? There's confirmation of the final score. The Maori were leading 4-0 at half-time, but Samoa have hit back. A superb second half performance from them. They had possession for about 60% of the time, and they've won this game by 21 points to 16.